All right, today we're going to cover some of the propagations I'm doing. We are getting our berries potted up. The weather's snowing now. It's been raining off and on all day. Right now, we've been propagating our bush cherries. We have some currants, some gooseberries, uh, some blackberries, and raspberries. We've got all kinds of different varieties of each one. So hopefully by the end of this summer, we can get you all propagating like a pro. My goal is to have a propagation masterclass, as I would call it. Uh, I will teach you how to propagate about anything that I know how to. Berries, we've got currants are super easy to propagate. Our bush cherries are relatively easy. They sucker, and we can get some of them potted up pretty quickly. We've got the gooseberries are real easy. The raspberries are easy, and the blackberries are easy. Um, so we've got, when it was warm out, we planted some radishes in these. We started some potatoes. We will be wheeling these in and out to keep them from freezing solid. And these ones will push up against the building since they've been outside all winter anyway. They should all do good, and hopefully this is a really exciting potted garden class for everybody by the end of the summer. I hope next year, or even if you want to follow along and follow some of what we're doing, you'll be able to grow your own fruit and your own vegetables in your backyard. So that is the goal for everybody, is to help you grow your own food and be self-sustaining. So enjoy the show. All right, today I've been up potting all my berry plants that I've been propagating over the last couple of years. Eventually, these things, they get to where they're too close together, and we really need to start separating off all the little baby plants. One of my favorite ways here for these gooseberries is I just take one of these branches and I bend them down, pin them into the dirt. I take, I've got these little flags, and I bend them at this angle. And I might not have a good one to show right now, but this branch here, we'll take it down and just pin it to the ground. Take some dirt and just press over it. I'll I'll get this dirt 3-4 inches deep, and then by the end of summer, this will be rooted. And then next year, I can cut it off and move it to wherever I feel like. And then I have an extra plant for free, whether I share it or sell it, or just increase our production. All right, I'm going to give you a close up of what I was doing here. See if I can get the zoom right. So we've got our branch right here. We bend it down. We put our pin in here, and then I will prop this up with a stick. That way that one will grow up into the sky. And then next year when it's time to cut that off, I'll know exactly where it's at. I do this a handful of times with each plant every year. And I've turned one plant into about 20 or 30 already in a couple years' time. Very efficient, and you can just keep layering them across as one will root up. I don't know if you'll be able to see this one. Let's see if we can get in there. I have one base there, and it goes to the mother plant. It's right in the center over here, and it just came back all the way across. I got a couple mother plants now. All right, here's a closer up side view. As you can see, we got our brace stick, got our flag. We're about a foot from the mother plant, and here's the top. And make a nice specimen once it's all rooted out and dormant. And here's my row of currants. I've got some Red Lake, Jostaberry, and another black currant. If you can see, they're getting pretty big. Some of these ones on the outside I'm going to dig up also. Easiest way to propagate these currants that I've found is to, in the fall, I cut little sticks and then I push them into the dirt. And this is what you'll get by springtime. Got a couple down here. You can see the where it was the first winter just died at the very top, but then the two sprouts came up last year. And I'd do about 6-inch chunk of these. So in the fall when they're leafless and dormant, cut that, just push it in the ground, throw some debris over them, give them some cover, and by springtime, second year, third year, you'll see you get huge rows. These things are, I'd say 3-4 foot tall already. This is their third season. In this corner here, I've got raspberries. I've got some of these branches were just going about 10 foot long. These things, you just take this branch here in the middle of summer, you push it down into the dirt, cover that tip up. These are some really large purple raspberries, so I wanted to put some more. I've got an Evans Bali cherry, which is super cold hardy. So I was trying to surround it with some of these raspberries, so that way I can get the understory of my food forest. And I have one right here. See if I can get that in there for you, where the tip was rooted in last year. All right, so we will pull the debris back and show you guys where this one is. All right, that's a little better. So we've got the tip is rooted. This is now its own plant. And so I think I'll pot that up, or I'll just move it to the other side so I can have a whole fence row. That is one of the best ways to propagate raspberries. All right, so one of the only things you can't do that with is these raspberries. They will fruit on the tips because they're a primocane variety. And if you bury those tips, you don't get any fruit, and then you're wasting your time. So those ones are, I would not do all of them that way. All right, so for the raspberries, a quick tip is you got two varieties. You have the floricane, which will only fruit on second year wood. And then there's the primocane that will fruit first year and second year. So with primocane varieties, we'll bend over about half of the tips and root those, and the other half we will let go. If you did it to every single one, your first season's crop is gone. And here is a potted up Invicta gooseberry. The more sun they get, the better they fruit. So we're going to put this out in full sun. The sugar content is higher, and we have some branches here that will work nice, and we can make some long rows of gooseberries. If you like a sour grape, gooseberries are definitely a good choice. I would say that once they get really ripe, then they get less sour, but I prefer the little bit more sour flavor to them. So I'm out here picking them before the bugs can get them. And I'll put these in the end of our rows of figs, so we can just go down the line and pick figs, berries, and whatever else kind of fruit we decide to plant out here. Right now we're getting our potted garden going, planting up all these propagations, and hopefully we'll get you an episode on all the fruit. Weather today is not cooperating, so once the weather warms up again, we'll have that video out for you. Thanks for watching, guys.